You know, like how people ask, like, oh, would you go back to your high school days? Or I would always say no, like immediately. So I was born in Tokyo, Japan, and I permanently moved to New Jersey when I was in fourth grade. I had trouble comprehending English, so people would always know me as like the shy person. I've always felt like I was the dumbest person in the class. No matter how much work I put in, no matter my grades, I would still feel this lack of confidence that everybody else was better than me. But I think playing sports definitely helped me release that stress and the anxiety and stuff like that. So I think tennis was something that I was able to escape to. With my family, we're very athletic. On weekends, we would always play sports. We would just find like a parking lot and I would play roller hockey with my brother. I've been playing tennis ever since I was 12 years old. I love practice, but I hate competing in tournaments because you had to play in front of people. Before a match, I could get quite nervous. And during like crucial points in my heart, I would chant Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. That really helped a lot. I was born into a family that practices Nichiren Buddhism with the SGI. So growing up, I would always hear my mom chant Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. My mom has always been this powerhouse in the family. She's always been so strong, and it seemed like she wasn't swayed by anything, but my Buddhist practice wasn't really consistent at that time. 6 years back, my dad, he was going through a severe depression and he started to have panic attacks. Yeah, that was really scary for me just because my dad was always someone that I looked up to. He was always so happy and joyful. You know, all my childhood was just like happily playing sports with him. So when he called my mom and asking for help, yeah, this was life-changing. So my mom and I went back to Japan. I think that was the first time where I seriously started to chant Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. I just knew that somehow by chanting, I could help my dad. Even though, you know, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, I just knew that by chanting for him that I was able to support him in that way. And so both my dad and I started to chant together. After 6 months, he overcame his panic attacks, and seeing my dad transform so much in his life, I realized how powerful like chanting Nam-myoho-renge-kyo was. So chanting Nam-myoho-renge-kyo makes me feel hopeful. I think that's one of the biggest changes that I've made is being able to just, you know, feel comfortable with who I am. The friends that I've made within the SGI, they have always, you know, been there for me, even if I'm like in my lowest life condition. They never judge me and help me transform this kind of negative view of myself. And so this confidence showed up in my life as coming back to nursing, which was something that I gave up a long time ago because I didn't have confidence at all in my academic life. So no matter how well I did in an exam, I would always make up excuses of why I had a good grade, for example. I wouldn't give credit to myself. So, you know, after 6 years, I finally graduated nursing school. And at that last exam, I left the room so confident and I had a good grade and I just felt so joyful and proud of myself. I've come a long way, and the consistent chanting definitely helped me, you know, transform one of my deepest suffering, which is to not feel capable. I chose to become an ER nurse probably a year back. I think there are a few similarities with like playing tennis and pursuing an ER nurse. I think, you know, for tennis, you're always on your toes. You don't know where the ball is going to go next. And, you know, you always had to, you know, be vigilant during that whole match. And I think being an ER nurse, you always kind of have to be ready for what's going to come next. And I think I work well under pressure. Yeah, my mom was like, you're probably going to be a great nurse because you're really good at hiding your whole emotion. So I'm using my weakness still of like being able to hold my emotions. So I've always felt like I was powerless. I could not contribute to the world, but as an ER nurse, I hope to really, you know, start with one person at a time. Just being there for every single patient in the moment, making sure that the patients don't feel like they're alone. Because I know like emergency room can be really like scary and you don't know what's gonna happen next, but I want to be that person where they feel like, you know, like I'm not gonna be alone.